My dear friends, as soon as your old programmings, old conditionings pop up on your head and you begin to think that God is nothing but an invention of consolation to human weakness and no enlightenment exists and I should not escape from life in the name of attaining fantasy island of spirituality or truth or moksha or God realization, then all those the devils take over your head and you start saying like this, Na kangshe vijayam Krishna, na cha rajyam sukhani cha, kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jivitena va. Then in order to rationalize your cowardice approach and escape from truth and involving in old rotten past in new God, you are provided with appropriate logic by wrong and confused people. And when you have such a mind, then mostly right person you do not dare to approach, or they just don't appear, don't appeal even. And wrong person rarely appeals then. Okay. Drishtvaimam swajanam Krishna Sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishishyate vepatuscha sarire me romaharshascha jayate. All the arguments Arjuna is producing, and that represents this. Okay? When you give way or pay attention to insincere thought, then mind discovers similar suitable logic, such as if I try to finish up with my old desire, then there will be suppression and that will cause psychosomatic diseases. If I suppress sex, if I follow brahmacharya, then suppression will take place and it will destroy the sanity of my mind. You think like that. If I starve, or if I observe a fast, or if I eat less, or if I don't drink wine, or if I don't smoke a cigarette, or I don't do this and that, then I starve my senses and mind from their necessities, which means the gratification, and then they will cease to function well and produce hallucinations. If this confused person happened to be very intelligent one, a scientist, a philosopher, and a leader, political leader, then he or she thinks, even though putting an end to sense tendencies may prove to be okay from point of view of discretion, still denouncing the physical pleasure seems to be loathsome. So, how terrible that I am ready to evaporate my own dear senses. There was a Prime Minister in India who used to drink his own urine because he thought that is the most healing thing, that is a nectar. And many people started drinking those days and so that's that. So it happens. Thinking thus, the aspirant becomes despondent and dropping meditation or kirtan or kundalini meditations, Krishna meditations. He fastidiously sits at the back of the chariot of intuition and refuses to perform series of consistent actions to further evolutionary stages of consciousness, leading towards higher understanding, in which alone true joy is available, for which he is searching for peace, searching for true happiness exists there. You have to strive hard to attain that. So, my dear friend, this is described in the verses of Bhagavad Gita 31st to 47. This is why this first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is named as Yoga of Despondency. Despondency is an energy. It is up to you to make it yoga. Your broken-heartedness, your uprootedness, your disorientation is psychological weakness, but it can be made yoga because it is only an energy. It is up to you to make it a yoga as Arjuna did. Many Western philosophers committed suicide, or they preached a very wrong kind of thoughts and ideas among people. There was a lover whose beloved refused to accept, and he wrote a poem. And that poem was so pathetic that so many people died, committed suicide. So many people were committing suicide reading that poem and singing it. So the government banned. So it was taken to other country. It was exported. Many countries imported, and there people started dying. So what is this? So intelligent people are very feelingful people. Even they go on wrong direction, they work wonders. So it is up to you to make your weakness transform into yoga as Arjuna did, being despondent and pessimistic to all and everything, but he remained open and receptive to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That is Vivek, that is intuition, that is inner voice, your insight. He remained open. So you also, if you remain open, you will have success. You will have a light in your life. You too have a dissipation, my dear. Be detached and despondent, knowing futility of everything, but be ecstatic to visit a spiritual resorts who are risen high in the level of consciousness, and you will find them a lot in India because the laws and constitution of India still allows to grow your consciousness to that degree. Enlightenment is still adorable in India. So you too have to develop some dissipation and uninvolvement to worldly matters, and despondent, knowing the futility of everything, and be ecstatic to visit India, to visit Vrindavan, to visit Rishikesh, to visit Himalayas and Ayodhya and Varanasi and many places, and be attached with full force to selfless service to the enlightened man, enlightened master. Be open and receptive to understanding born of Krishna meditation. Otherwise, despondency is life damaging. Your confusion is life damaging, my dear friend. Wrong understanding. If it is your conditioning, your life is already damaged a lot. It needs great recovery. It may drag you to greater bhoga, means greater sense gratification and laziness and lethargy and all criminal activities. So Arjuna says, Gandivam strinsate hastat tvakyaiva paradahyate nacha shaknomyavalthadum brahmativa cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava na cha sreyo na pashyami hatva svajana mahave. Tasman naravayam hantum dhastranashtan sabandhavan swajanam ekatam hatva sukhinasyama madhava. All these logics he presents before Krishna, and Krishna hears and hears and hears, and he says, Doshe reitai kulagnanam varanasangaragaragai utsadante yadi dharma kuladharma shashrata. And he says, Yadi mama pratikaram shastram shastripanaya radhartarashtrarane anyastanne kshemadaram bhavet. And what happened? Eva muktvarjuna sangeyrado bhasto bhavishat vistsrajya sasharam japam shokasam vignamanasa. Then, at last when Krishna says, Krishna speaks, it is like explosion, big explosion, big earthquake happened, a volcano erupted, volcano of thought, volcano of idea, volcano of revolutionary idea, my dear friends. Krishna immediately scolds Arjuna on top of his wife, and he says, Kutastva kashmalamidam vishami samupastitam anarya jishtamasvarya makirti karamarjuna. And he says, Klavyam masmagamah parthanai tattvaya babadhyate shudram hridaya daurvalyam tyakto tishtaparantapa. These two verses are so powerful that brought independence to India in 1947. All along these years, when revolutionaries, the Krantikaris, who were fighting from 1,000-year rule of alien powers, alien invaders, that is Muslims and Christian power, that is British, they fought very long battle. So the main inspiration were these two verses. Klavyam asmagamah parthanai tattvaya babadhyate shudram hridaya daurvalyam tyakto tishtaparantapa. Drop your unmanliness, drop your cowardliness. I don't want to hear these kinds of logic. Get awake. Shudram hridaya daurvalyam tattvo tishtaparandava. Recognize your duty and responsibility, Arjun. Come out of this mud of weakness. Come out of the weakness. Come out of this confusion and wrong conception of reality. Come out. I am here to help you. My dear friend, this is how Srimad Bhagavad Gita begins. It is a necklace gem of all enlightened saints, and it is a guiding light to every seeker of truth, no matter which caste, creed, nationality and religion you live. Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita. And it begins, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavetahi Samaha. O Sanjay, in the land of righteousness, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, assembled together desirers of world. My sons and Pandavas, what did they do? And this is practical life commentary can be, oh my impartial witnessing faculty, in the field of my brain, in the field of my psychology, assembled together desirous for third world war, my selfish flesh and the army of selflessness. What did they do? In the field of dharma, in the field of gurus gathered together, eager to fight, Oh Sanjay, what did my sons and the Pandavas do? Oh Sanjay, every person is a king because he is free to do anything with his life, whatever he wants to do. At the same time, he is blind. Every person is a king and blind because he knows he wants true peace, true love, true happiness, but he doesn't know all are available in the state of deep meditation, in the state of timeless, breathless, egoless state of consciousness, in the state of Satchidanandam nature. He is ignorant of this fact, and therefore he is not sure of the way how to attain true happiness. Therefore, Gita begins with the question of a blind man who is a king, that is you. Every person has question because he is not sure. He always asks outside. The best among all outside is Gurudeva. Servicefully, honestly ask him. If you have questions, then he awakens your witnessing faculty. This is Sanjay. Actually, life is eternal, everlasting, exactly as Dharma is immortal, invincible, but only when you have attained enlightenment. Therefore, the true life is referred as Dharmakshetra. Then, due to Kri means Kuru, which means perform actions, due to very intention of performing action, life remains no more eternal, no more vast expansion of Satchidanandam energy, awareness and bliss. Due to thought, it became limited and conditioned and confined into body, which includes senses, mind, intellect, and chitta and ego. And as soon as this happens, then in the middle of Dharmakshetra, like an iceberg, a little Kurukshetra is formatted. In this Kurukshetra, this entire world, North and South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia starts appearing. As much as Kauravas and Pandavas grow affluently, the world shines out as the only reality. The only blindness of a person is selfishness, my dear friends. Instances of selfishness are about 100. There is very little difference if you put small s in self and it becomes ego. If you put big S in self, it means Atma, that is experienced in Samadhi. So, we can describe selfishness as materialism that leads to animalism or devilism and demonism, and selflessness as spiritualism and leads to humanity and divinity. And so there is always crash. As much is there seriousness in your blindness, so much it remains no more ordinary crash but becomes struggle. Not only this, it becomes an intergalactic warfare situation. There are two parts in each person. One is siding the body, its passion, its laziness, its scapegoats to rationalize its avoidance of integration of psychology doing meditation. And the other is siding the Atma. It's always fresh, vigorous, for higher understanding and ready to perform all what is needed for evolution of consciousness. The former part's criteria is selfishness. Later part's criteria is selflessness. They are very natural. As long as genuine quest and search for truth has not born, your habit remains selfish, my dear friends. Since the humans are evolving from lower animals, is marching is towards the highest